Okay, here we go. My name is John Oliver. Today is the 16th of October 2011. It's 12:45 a.m. in my apartment in Dallas. This is talking about the length of growing and sowing libraries. There's previous ones were about the depth and width. This is about the length. This can get pretty long, crazy, and complicated. Let's go as far as I can within 5 or more minutes. And so let me describe a little bit of some of the key points. First, let me say kind of an audio illustration introduction to this before I go down the actual thing. Somewhere else I call this the global education pipeline. And so that's another way to describe it. And so, well, I guess we start with what we got right here. Let me go across the top headings here, and you'll probably see that each one has descriptors. Okay, so it starts at the reservoir. That's what I call the reservoir. And who, when, why, how, the reservoir is, we have like the, that's the knowledge bases. So in other words, governmental and educational archives, lots of links there, Department of Education, Health, Peace Corps, libraries, lesson plans, lots and lots of things. I really like merit badges. I'll come back to that several times. I was a Boy Scout, and I really like the model of a merit badge. It's a small unit. I got the merit badge, I recall, of canoeing and first aid and swimming and horsemanship and scholarship and photography. And I knew nothing much of those. I learned a little bit. I experienced them. I was testing on those, and I received the merit badge. It's kind of a modular way. I want to go on that kind, not way deep, everything about horses, everything about canoes, everything about photography, just the very, very basics. And there's other basics, intermediate, advanced, that goes back again to the depth. Skills, illustrations, knowledge. You have lots of podcasts, article marketing, all kinds of ways. In other words, right now online, there's lots of things. And like I said before, I will be commissioning people to make things. In other words, one of the things that's very important overseas is goats. Goats require very little forage. They make milk. They make other goats. And so goats 101, 102, 103. I would commission that pretty quickly. Water collection, water sanitation, water wells, rainwater collection, those kinds of things. I could commission, not immediately, but within a year or two of now, and do it in English with illustrations. And then once it's in English and have it edited well, like in a wiki collaborative format, which I'll get into here in a moment, then I could have it, well, I'll get to that. So that's all the reservoirs, and they're what we have currently as well as what we'll add to it. I have lots of ways to add stuff to it. Contests is an important one. Recognition is another one. We'll get into that. So, but a wiki, I like the wiki. Wikipedia is the leading kind of wiki that's a main wiki that's out there. Oh, that wasn't it. Well, I'm confused. All right. So, lots of links to lots of things. I have thousands of links. I only have a very few of them over here under input. So, input, throughput, output related to lots of links, thousands of links. So the links to all things about whatever, cooking, sanitation, physics, human anatomy, wikis, educational nucleus. I'll do a whole series about these lessons. I'll get much back into this. I'm just going to go that quickly. You'll understand it later. But that's how I take the reservoir of much raw material, and put in these 5 different formats. This is mostly links. This is a wiki, which is like a bunch of articles with links to those. Nucleus is lots of short lessons that could be like 1-page lessons, short booklets, infographics, kind of like posters, 1 minute, 3 minute, 15 minute, 18 minute, 1 page, 4 page, 18 page, short little education units, like I said, booklets, like the merit badges, other kinds of little booklets like the discovery booklets or the Our Daily Bread, online courses, those kinds of things. Well, already 5 minutes. Well, I get to hustle, huh? And then well, again, I'll get more of this, much more of that later. But then once I have it in English, because I know English, people I know English well, then I move it into the languages. Translate Google is where you could put text or website in there. It'll translate it into the foreign languages, and then I'll have a demo of that. And then you need to clean it up because they'll mess up the grammar, punctuation, idioms, illustrations, cross-cultural issues. So I have natives and people to clean that up, and the people that clean it up would include here missionary international students, outsourced people that could clean it up. So it's just really good, really tight, really appropriate. And once it's in text, because text is, then to make it audio. Audio is to record it as audio. And so who would wonder why, how now about audio? Because half the world does not read. We need to be sensitive to people that cannot, do not, will not ever read, but they're very oral oriented. So how do we then get this text stuff into an oral form? In MP3s, do we record in the field? How do we translate? How, people can read it into computers, or computers can read text or record it in the field. Classrooms, like a radio magazine, seminars. So all kinds of ways to record. And I'll have links here as well as to vendors and devices related to what are the, so I translate into these major languages, and then minor languages in audio. And then the next one is maybe obvious, is video. So more and more visual generation. And this will make sense as I get to the libraries. What we're aiming is prepare all this for libraries, okay? Remember, the name of it is Growing Sowing Libraries. But we're making these things into items that will be new materials for all kinds of libraries all over the world. So you record the video. Once you know what the lesson is, most videos, almost all the videos you have have got transcripts. I mean, I'm shooting from the hip clearly, but I got a lot of preparation. And so people would prepare the video, and again, the cost of that getting cheaper every day, storyboarding, audio, graphics, blah blah blah. So that and videos are becoming more available and accessible to be available on mobile phones, and so that's critically important. I think I'll stop now, but you see the progression, and well, maybe I'll just go these other two while I've got this kind of on somewhat of a roll. And so then to store it on devices like PDFs, MP3s. So you put it on to those kinds of things, you catalog it, and then you make it available online to be downloaded, to be watched. That's strange. Or offline, you store it, digital storage devices. So you put on, so then that will go on to tablets or Kindles, or here's the thing. All right, here's the critical thing. Be put on flash drives, SD cards. They'd be like 2, 4, 8, 12, 32 gigabytes, DVDs, external hard drives. Here's the real tanker, the real mother load can move with that with a terabyte. Terabyte is 1,000 gigabytes. That's 20,000 hours of audio as MP3, and there's a lot. So that's really is the tanker. The big, I mean, oil is moved around the world through tanker ships. That's a real tanker that can move that all over the world through that. So that's how it's moved. Well, That's how it's stored. And once it's stored, then it needs to be moved. It needs to go somewhere. So it can go somewhere by someone seeing it online, and they can download it from online. It can be shipped, it can be mailed, it can be trucked somewhere, taken somewhere. You see, because it's been stored and digitized. And so wherever UPS or the local government or missionary or our short-term mission trip goes, they can carry SD cards, which are like the little things you put in a camera or in a cell phone. Those devices can carry literacy, how to fish, how to clean water, how to all those things, how to play a musical instrument. There's just no end to what it can carry to a library, and we'll get to the libraries later. Let me just stop there. You sort of get an idea here. Let me take this back. You can see where we come from, which is quite a long way. We've still got a long way to go. But the reservoir, and then English text, and then once it's in text, other languages in text, then audio, then video, then storage devices, and then move the stored devices, right? So here it is here, you and me in the USA and in suburbia can access that stuff from our little homes and DSL connections, but we're making it down to where it can get to the villages, it can get to the orphanages, it can get to the prisons and whatever down this pipeline. Is that making sense? I hope so. Still got a ways to go.